Hello, and welcome back to my Pokemon Scarlet Surprise Trade Crochet Badge Quest, where I'm surprise trading a Pokemon before each gym, Titan, and Team Starbase, and then crocheting the Pokemon I receive each time. In the last episode, I was traded a Slakoth, who mustered all of its motivation to defeat Iono for our 6th gym badge. I grabbed a Magnemite outside Levincia for trade, and quickly sent it off to Seba. In return, I got the Psychic-type Johto evolution, Espeon. The EV evolution line are fan favourites, so I was absolutely expecting one at some point during this quest. This is the second time I've received a fully evolved Pokemon, and I'm actually quite glad about it. This way, I don't have to decide which evolution to go for. It would have been Sylveon, by the way. Taking that choice out of my hands feels in the spirit of this challenge. Coming into the final third of this quest, we're getting more limited into which badges to pick up next. I have 1 Titan remaining and 2 gyms and starbases left. Being a Psychic type, Espeon really only has a type advantage over one of these, the Fighting type starbase run by Eri. This is also the highest level badge in the game, so I'll slap on the lucky egg and get training as I make my way through the Glaciado mountain pass. Meanwhile, let's get a good look at our Espeon. It's a Spanish Espeon and level 38. It looks like it was caught about 2 years ago and gained only a few levels in that time. It also has a neutral nature and a Psychic Terra type. This will be useful to boost our power against the upcoming fighting Pokemon. The Dalazappa passage is filled with trainers to fight, and Espeon is at a level where it can handle itself in battle, so the training goes relatively easy. Learning Psychic at level 40 is also a huge benefit. The path is long and arduous, so please enjoy a montage of our journey. Finally making it to the bamboo forest of North Province Area 2, great name, we meet up with our old mate Clive, meaning we're close to the Team Starbase. I train up a little more in the area to bring up Espeon to the level of Eri's Pokemon, and we're rewarded with a long-awaited evolution. Shelgon and Salamence will be crocheted in the next video, so I hope you look forward to that. It's kinda crazy to think how long it's been since we set off on this quest, with Bagon joining us early all the way back in the 3rd episode. After getting Espeon up to a respectable level, it's time to look at its design for Crochet. Espeon, like so many other early generation Pokemon, has a relatively simple design. No extra frills or hidden details. The head is slightly oval with a pointed snout. The body is quite slender, cinched in at the waist, and the neck is longer than most other evolutions. Espeon has huge pointed ears. The point at the end is upturned, and the inner ear is a blue colour. Below the ears are some tufts of hair or whiskers. They're thick and bushy, one large one and a smaller offshoot. The front legs are thin and featureless, no separate toes or toe beans. The back legs have the classic feline bends, getting thicker at the thighs. The toes on the back feet are separated. What I feel is Espeon's most defining feature is its tail. It forks in two at the end like a dowsing rod. Finally, Espeon's face features a small round jewel on the forehead. It sits between 2 large eyes and a very small nose. The colours I'll use for Espeon are a lilac colour for, well, everything, I have a red for the tiny gem and a blue for the inner ears. All pretty simple, right? So explain to me why I had so much trouble starting this Pokemon. I began at the tip of the nose initially, making an elongated cone. My plan was to add some short rows to craft the neck and then the body all as one piece. This was not working at all, so I restarted. Okay, so let's start at the top of the head. I make a circle and work down, adding in some increases to give the nose a little bump. Then I can close off the head and work down the neck, and no, this isn't working and it's way too big. Third time's the charm. I make it similar to the last time. I make a smaller circle, turn it into a half sphere and add in some increases for the snout and decrease. Then I work down the neck and finish it there. I'll do the body as a separate piece. The body starts in the same way. I make a long tube with just a slightly larger round than I did the head and neck. When I get to the halfway point, I decrease to cinch the waist in a little. Then I bring it back out and finish the body section. I make the legs next because I want Espeon to stand before I do the ears and tail. The front legs are slim tubes that I make a bit thicker near the top and give it a bit of a turn so that they look like knee joints. The back legs have more turns, but I think back to how I crafted Meowscarada's legs. I make a small foot, turn with short rows, work up a bit, and then turn again with short rows. The thighs are made thicker and all four legs can be stitched to the body. For the ears, I make a long cone. I'll flatten these and bend the tips upwards. I also make a blue triangle to fit into the inner ear and move on to the whiskers. These are also cones that increase and then decrease to give it that bushy look. I make one big and one small. The tail begins with a tube. I make two of the same length so I can then link them up into the same round. It's then just a case of making the tube super long. I posted a picture of the finished tail on social media and immediately people correctly guessed Espeon. Perhaps too easy, but no one seemed to find Espeon hanging out with the slacking line in the last video. Have you seen the next Pokemon in this video? Finally, I make a very small circle for the gem. I usually make the eyes in felt, but I didn't have a suitable shade, so I actually ended up crocheting in some semicircles. I also stitched on a nose and the toe divide, and Espeon is complete. The CAF Team Starbase is waiting for us, but the Annihilate and Lucario on Eri's team kinda scare me, so I want Espeon to have every advantage she can get. I quickly fly back over to Levincia and buy a Twisted Spoon from the Delibird Presents store. This will boost our Psychic type moves, so I think we're ready. Unusual for a Team Starbase, but the leader meets us outside the gates, standing between us and her team and having just battled with Clive. Eri explains this is because she won't risk letting her team get hurt, but is eventually talked down by her teammate and agrees to accepting help. The battle with Carmen is an easy one for Espeon. Her Krogunk and Primeape both go down in one hit. This allows us into the base, where we bring in Espeon, Salamence and Azumarill to auto-battle the 30 required Pokemon. Eri returns once this challenge is done, this time atop her Starmobile, tossing aside her jacket Yakuza style. Her first Pokemon is Toxicroak, a poison fighting type, doubly weak to Psychic. I don't take this for granted though, as I know this Pokemon has Sucker Punch, which could be devastating for Espeon. Instead of attacking first turn, I decide to set up. I Terrastallize and lay down a Psychic terrain. Just as I thought, the Toxicroak went for a Sucker Punch. Espeon and I are one, both able to predict the enemy's actions. Now with the Psychic boost from my Terra type, the Twisted Spoon and the terrain, I cross my fingers and hope I can outspeed and sweep everything. Toxicroak doesn't Sucker Punch the next turn, so a Psychic takes it out in one hit. Out next is the Steel Fighting type Lucario. Lucario takes neutral damage from our Psychic moves and has Dark Pulse to hit us back if we can't take it out quickly. Luckily, this is another Psychic one-shot with a critical hit, and out comes the other scary Pokemon, the new Ghost Fighting Primeape evolution, Annihilape. Annihilape is decently fast, but we're faster. Espeon's Psychic hits first and manages to take out the Annihilape in one shot. This leads to another fighting monkey, Persimmon. I'm not worried at all about this Pokemon and also one-shot it. Finally, the Starmobile itself. These guys are usually bulky, so I'm unsure how Espeon will fare against it. I select Psychic for one final time and watch the Starmobile's health bar rapidly reduce to 0. We get another look at Team Star's backstory, with Eri being the team's personal trainer. She pushes them to their limits, but is worried that she went too hard. The team are grateful for all she's done, and her teammates spur her on to be the best that she can be. We also find out that the Team Star grunt at the gates was a former bully of Eri. She found that once other kids switched targets from Eri to her, she had no one to turn to, but Eri picked her back up and helped her in her time of need, bringing her into Team Star. After meeting up with Penny, I go out to catch the next Pokemon for trade. This Heracross will do nicely. Maybe not. This Heracross will do... oh, okay. This Heracross will do nicely. First try. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.